Greetings, Moonlighters. We are here on Moonlight Kingdom Moonlight Kingdom podcast episode 94. And on this one, we are discussing, one world government and of all things, new world order. That's right, folks. The new world order will be discussed in this episode. And no, despite my previous content, despite the usual stuff we talk about in this podcast space, and despite my last my last review centering on pro wrestling, I am not talking about the WCW faction headed up by Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan. I'm in fact talking about the book New World Order with an individual I came across on TikTok live stream who invited me on his live at one point. The thing is, bro just invited me, and when I showed up, he was like, "Huh? Like, what you got to say? Like, what you say, man?" And I'm like, nothing, dude. You called me. What you got to say, bro? You call me. Why want to know what I think?" It turns out it was one of those cases where you just share the live to as many people as possible. And on this occasion, he just so happened to pull me in one of the names that came up. I was the random name that got pulled out of the hat. And we have a lengthy discussion on the concept of one world government, whether or not the United States truly lives in a democracy or a tyranny, and if there is or isn't shadowy figures behind the scenes pulling the strings of all politicians, elections, and Lord knows what else. That happens here and now in this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast in 3, 2, 1. You tell me there, Mr. Globalist. You invited me up here and I see the sign saying the New World Order.
Yeah, have you read the book?
Read the book.
Are you familiar?
I'm familiar with the term, not for anything, because it was in the initial tagline for that Captain America movie, but they changed it because it has ties to I heard something about anti-Semitism.
I don't know about that now. I think it might be almost the opposite. The New World Order is real, and it's not. Maybe they say it's anti-Semitic because it kind of talks about the people that run the world. Maybe that's why they would say something like that. But I mean, it's like real. I'm not anti-Semitic.
Is this one of those puppet masters behind the scenes, pulling everybody's strings from the shadows type shit, like Freemasons or whatnot?
Oh, the New World. Are you talking about like the Illuminati? No, the New World Order is already in effect. Like the New World Order, your Social Security number is part of the New World Order. You see what I'm saying? Now, the New World Order, they're saying now that it's going to turn into a one world government, which that is part of the New World Order. But the New World Order is a collective of things that happen over time to get to the one governed world. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't that NATO?
No, listen, trust me, it's not NATO. NATO will be gone when the one world government is implemented. There will be no NATO.
So you're saying is that every country, with all its different agendas and politicians and culture and laws and all that, is just gonna amalgam itself into one big government?
Eventually. That's what the New World Order and the one world government is about. That's what it's about.
And just how exactly are we going to run this? How is this big government going to be run? Because there's no way this is all leading to one dude.
I mean, it's going to happen, man.
Let's say it is. I'm just curious how, because if every government in the world chipped in and was now one big government, that's like 7 continents all coming together with resources and leadership and whatnot. I'm just saying, are you saying there's going to be one guy at the top of all this? Because
yeah, yes, that's going to run the world. world government. I'm not sure if it's going to happen while we're still living, but it's working towards it. Like everything that's come along. If you read the book and watch the history, everything is there.
So the Illuminati is what behind all this, because that's what that symbol typically associated with. The pyramid with the big eyes typically associated either with the dollar bill or the Illuminati. So
yeah, I don't want to say the Illuminati, but
the New World Order. Oh, that's an interesting concept to say the least. But before any further, man, how do you? I saw on this notification thing, so and so invites you to come on as a guest. Like, do I know you? Have we interacted before, or is this one of those random?
I just went down my list and I just invited people. I don't even think we're friends at all. No, we're not. So I just invite people, and then they also gotta they'll find guests for you. So I think maybe TikTok found you. You know.
Well, that is surely well, that's good to know. It definitely informs a lot. Going to inform a lot going forward. But this idea, the New World Order, from your viewing, having read the book, because my understanding of this is limited, as we've established. So from your understanding, having read the book and having done the research you've done, is this a good or a bad thing?
It depends on how you look at it, but it's something that we don't really have control over. It's just what's happening. I don't actually think it's good, but I can't say it's bad either.
So okay, let's take it down to like the base level. For the man on the street, Joe Citizen working his 9 to 5, is a one world government a good thing versus what something for somebody like a Jeff Bezos who's got billions in the bank? Is it a good thing for that guy more than it is for Mr. 9 to 5?
It depends. Like, if you want to be governed by, in a one world government or not, it depends on if that's what you want. Like, it doesn't mean that it's going to be like terrible or it's going to be great. It's going to affect everybody different, but you will be under one order, almost like a dictatorship over the world. So we kind of even though they say we're in a democracy, we're pretty much in a dictatorship right now.
I'd argue a one world government sounds more like an authoritarian regime, but that's neither here nor there. Although it's not entirely, in terms of what's going on, when you say with dictatorship right now, you're talking about the U.S. Was that it?
Yeah. Okay. Are you from the U.S.?
No.
Where are you from?
Giving out personal information on live stream with people I don't know. Let's say, let's just say concerned citizen. Yeah. Not from the U.S., but very much. Well, let me say not from the U.S., but very much of the U.S.
You know what?
If this is to give away anything.
Maybe you're part of the Illuminati and you're anti-Semitic. These secrets got me kind of skeptical of you.
Well, it wouldn't be, what's the word? They wouldn't be good secrets if they didn't.
Okay. You sound like you might know more than you revealing right now.
About what? New World Order? The closest thing I'm...
About plenty of things. When people speak as you do, this is normally the truth.
You insinuating I know more than I'm letting on?
Of course, yes.
I do. I have heard the name New World Order before, but it wasn't in any book. I stated a explanation for where I heard it from, the other one being the freaking WCW with the likes of Hall, Nash, and Hogan. But that was a wrestling faction and not this. This is
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay,
yeah.
I see what
I
you're
totally forgot what I was saying, but yeah. So in regards to the old oh yeah, the U.S. of A, the United States. You said it's basically a dictatorship now, given everything that's going on. I would argue it's a tyrannical democracy more than a dictatorship, because at the end of the day, you can't vote out a dictator. You know,
saying. Do you believe that those votes are really what's making the decision on the president, or are they just telling you that so they can continue to run a dictatorship?
if I'm not mistaken,
I'm
this
under the thing. Me, I'm under. I mean, I believe that the presidents are being bought. You know
the
what I'm saying?
the
But if you
president
believe that, these votes really matter, then you think different than me. So
the presidents have sponsors and financial backers. Of course, they're bought.
yeah. So what makes you think that their seat can't be bought?
The C- okay, because at the end of the day, you can buy a candidate. What you cannot buy is the candidate getting the job. That is entirely. You can influence the result,
Listen,
but you can't
listen.
directly affect it.
The people that run the world can buy anything. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Money doesn't. There are a lot of things. There are some things that money can't buy. Unfortunately, human beings just don't seem to be one of those things.
Okay.
It is what it is. Is greed is a very big driving factor in regards to politicians in the United States, given the fact that there was. Do you ever hear about that thing with the homeless people in LA where there was like something like $200 million that went missing, and they wanted to launch an investigation to where it went, and the people in charge in LA shut it down.
Nah, refresh my memory. I'm not sure about that.
Well, what happened was, this is just what I heard. There's a huge homeless crisis in Los Angeles, California, and the government gave the state uh $200 million to do something about it. And that money just somehow got lost. So, people in the government, this wasn't during the Trump administration, mind you, it was during the time of good old Joe, oh Sleepy Joe. It was during his administration that they wanted to send someone to look into it and find out where the money went. But then the people in
Okay.
LA were, they made it their mission to shut that investigation down, saying that there was no point. Now, I, as a common man, this is just my opinion, but we pretty much know what happened to that money. You don't need to do no investigation. We all know what happened to that money. Someone pocketed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is, therein lies the rub. Like people can be bought, and, greed is ultimately the thing that's going to undercut the world as it is. Because that money was going to do something good, and someone decided it would do much more good if it was sitting in their pockets instead of, going to the city that these people are tasked with serving. And that happens a lot with politicians. I don't, personally, I never ever want to hear the president or the chief of staff or whoever say to the American people or any people in any country that they don't have the money for that. Because if it was true, if there was a 100% fact in people requesting money for education or for better treatment for veterans, and all they get is we don't have the money for that, and the government actually didn't have the money for that, then they wouldn't be renovating ballrooms in the White House.
Yeah, you're right. Now I know that money is somewhere. It's going in different pockets.
Yeah. Companies do it all the time in this thing of like downsizing. Yes, the process of firing people as an effort to save money. You ever notice
Yeah.
when a company downsizes and lessens the number of people it has to lessen the amount of money it has to pay, they don't start from the top and work their way down.
Nah, you're right. Now that's a common practice right there.
Especially considering that it is the people at the top who are earning the most money, and thus removing them, you would have a lot less people to remove because you'd have a lot more money to go around. But since it's the people at the top whose decision it is for what gets cut and what stays, they're definitely not going to put themselves in the firing line because, be honest, if that was your job, if you were in charge of hiring and firing, would you really put your name on the fire list?
Nah. No way.
Exactly.
No way I would do that. You wouldn't either.
Yeah. Difference between us, the average people, and the people in those offices is that at least we can admit it.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the world we seem to be living in. Everybody's looking out for their own self-interest, either, getting a position in a very important job, whether it be a mayor or a senator or, a chief of something or even a minister of something, like a minister of agriculture or whatever. So there's going to be this idea that this person is going to do whatever they can to line their own pockets, and actively doing that job is a distant second. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, like that's why I'm saying, like, these presidents can be bought. But I don't know if you believe that or you understand that. You believe that the vote counts every time.
The man in the chair. That's what I'm going to say this much. The person in the chair, that person is in fact for sale. They have people backing them financially. They have people endorsing them. That person,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
You're saying the man in the chair is for sale, but the chair isn't for sale.
Yes, the chair isn't for sale. The person in it, that guy's for sale.
I believe the chair is also for sale. That's what I'm saying. I believe the chair is also for sale.
Elaborate.
I think the chair is already owned. If I want you in there, then I put you in there. You see what I'm saying? Somebody owns that chair. I'm pretty sure who owns it. You know? Or it could be, you know what, I gotta keep my mind open. Maybe the chair isn't owned by the same people that end up owning the presidents. Because I see that they'll fund both sides. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
They'll buy Democrats and Republicans. Now, whichever one gets in there, they still got to follow the way because the people that run the world are the ones who buy the president. So that could, maybe the chair isn't for sale and just the actual candidates.
All right.
So I could look at it that way too.
Okay.
But no matter who sits in that seat, they're automatically bought by these people. That's just pretty much what this new world order is about.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. From that view of things, say we were living in a kingdom. Who, in your opinion, is more powerful in a kingdom? The king or the kingmaker?
I'm pretty sure the kingmaker.
And why is that?
Because he made the king.
Yeah. It's his job to decide who becomes king.
Yes.
Therein lies the problem. See, that's what I'm saying, You're saying essentially the king has been bought and paid for by shady people in the background. Yeah, I grant you that. The kingmaker is also bought and paid for in this system that you see things. The kingmaker is also bought and paid for, but in all likelihood, he's bought and paid for by different people.
So, yeah, but so you think that not the same person isn't buying the same, both of the candidates, what you're telling me?
If one individual was buying both of the candidates, then it wouldn't matter who wins.
It does, but it matters who bought the president. You're right. It doesn't matter who wins, but it does matter who buys. So if that person or these people didn't buy both presidents, then someone else with a different agenda would have the seat. You understand?
You follow boxing, Global?
Yeah.
You know about like fight fixing and whatnot, right?
Yes.
So if you had the money to fix a fight, you'd largely put your money on the dude you feel like is most likely to win, correct? You would fix a fight in the sense that you would put all your money on the dude that you want to win, and you would tell the other guy, hey, take a dive, right? That's standard what happens when fixing a fight, correct?
Yeah, that's what usually happens, exactly.
Would you, if you had the money to do so, pay off both fighters?
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but if I'm painting a picture of a democracy, yes, I would. And I want people to believe that their vote counts. Yes, I would.
So you would pay off the dude you're paying to take a dive and the dude that you want to win. You'd pay the one fighter to win and the other fighter to take a dive. Do you not see that maybe you might be wasting... If you're already paying one dude to take a dive, what are you paying the other dude for?
Listen, they run the world. No money. There's no money that they could spend that's wasted. You gotta understand where I'm coming from. I understand where you're coming from with the boxing, but you know, even when you fix the fight, you gotta pay both fighters, and then you can't make them just. Well, I guess some of them do fall in the first round, but we're talking about that seat right now. And if you understand what this book is about and how the world is ran, you will understand what I'm saying.
Greed would have to play a factor in all this, because at the end of the day, it's money and power that people seek to achieve when they be running things behind the scenes. You've never heard of a puppetmaster running things behind the scenes so that it would be for the benefit of the world or anything like that. And in some one world government, it's going to be tough to be pulling off greed the way most politicians are used to, because all the money is being shared amongst everybody, and everybody's pooling resources into this one world government. It's forcing everyone to actually work together under one big name. And you know that's going to create a bit of a struggle, because everybody's going to want to be that one big guy running the show.
Well, they're going to assign the one big guy. The one big guy is going to be assigned.
Just pick it. You play sports in high school, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, team sports. When your coach would assign a captain, right? It was very much understood, like, okay, the man in charge just named this guy captain. We're gonna listen to what he says. Everything's cool. Because you knew, like, that guy's going to call the shots and we're all going to work together to try and achieve a common goal. Because at the end of the day, we all want to score as many points as possible and win the game. Because that's what we want at the end, right? Now, what happens if coach comes in and announces Joe Soap is going to be captain this week, but you want to be captain? You're just going to be like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to be captain. I guess I just have to listen to what old Joe Soap says. Oh, well, that happens. That's life. You're just going to accept that and move on?
I mean, if the coach picked the captain, pretty much what could you do? I mean, if he earned it, I mean, if he didn't earn it and the coach picked it, there's still nothing you can do because the coach picked it. Am I understanding what you're asking me?
Yeah. In that scenario, it would be the situation that, well, the person above you made a choice and now you got to deal with it. No matter how much it's a choice that you disagree with. Can you see politicians doing that?
Man, they don't have a choice. Just like you said, though, so I understand where you're coming from. They don't have a choice to tell. I believe that, okay, let me tell you about Trump. In his first election, I really believe that he had the choice out of all the presidents. If he wanted to do right, he would be the president that could do right. Seemed like he had more freedom. He didn't have these guys completely in his pocket. He had a little more leeway. But now I see the second term, it's not the same as the first term. But I understand what he's doing, and I don't agree with everything that he's doing, but a lot of this stuff has to be done. You see what I'm saying? And the more I see what's going on, the more I reflect back on this book. Like this book been around since the 90s. This book was hand down to me. So I just reflect back to it. Like I see what's going on. And what he's doing, like, has to be done. In certain situations, not everything that he's doing. I don't agree with everything that he's doing.
The way I view the reign of, the commander in Cheetos as he is now, it's that the first time he did it, first time he was president, there was a lot of shit he wanted to do. But there were rules and legislators and Lord knows what else put in place that kept him from doing so. And now, second time around, knowing what to expect, he has made it so that all those rules and legislation and even people in positions of power are working in his favor, so he can do whatever he wanted to do the first time around but couldn't.
And then when you say it like that, what I think is like, it's not really. See, the first time around, they made it. See, like that's like I say, we're not in control. So they made it look like, to me, like I said, I thought that he had more control then. So they made it look that way. But now that I see what's going on, and I know who has control, which have always had control, now he is on their agenda now. I see what's going on. He's on their agenda. Certain things that he do, I can see right through it. But at the same time, certain things that he's doing, I don't agree with, but it has to be done. So I think they put up a facade the first time with him, and a lot of people just didn't see things like I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Or he would have got a second term right afterwards. But they knew they had to get him back in because they had already written a script and made it. They tried to put it together a certain way so he could get the second term, but I guess it just didn't happen. For some reason, I don't know why, even though I know they're actually in control, but they did it for a reason that way. But now I can just see the way Trump moved, like he's got a steering wheel on his back. You know what I'm saying? And certain stuff that he's doing, it just has to be done.
This learned from the New World Order book as written by A. Rolf Epperson. Am I reading that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to give that some looking into. And in terms of what I'm to do later today, I'm definitely going to look into that because you've raised a lot of points and statements about the world as it is now and how it all circles back to this book, a context which I don't have. So, in future, if we're to have this conversation again, I'll have to have looked into that so we can delve into it further. But at the moment, I have to head out. So, you do what you gotta do and enjoy the rest of the live and have the day you wish to have.
All right, thank you. I just follow and you follow, add me also. Maybe we can, we'll talk about it another time.
We shall see.